We have one public hearing and a couple of other items on the agenda. First is a public hearing on James Scheck, 12 Lunar Drive, application for special permit for a freestanding sign at 12 Lunar Drive.
That's me.
Okay.
Come up.
Come up and sign in, please.
For starters, it's Paul Scheck. I don't know how to change it.
Aye.
Oh, okay.
Fine, that's one correction. Oh. Mr. Schatz?
Okay, I've never done this before, so I don't know what you need
There's
from me.
no magic formula.
No, I'm sure.
Believe me.
I'm sure. Okay. So we submitted an application for a sign in front of 12 Lunar Drive. The sign's been designed by New Haven Sign Company. It meets, to our understanding, the square footage restriction established by the zoning board. I don't know what other information you might need about it.
Are the three references under your name, meaning to Playcraft, Family Fun, and
Playcraft Sport.
those are all your companies?
They are. There are DBAs,
Okay.
so they're identities for us. The company is Global Merchants Inc.
Okay.
And that portion of the sign is removable, updatable, what have you.
You mean you mean the lower portion of the
The
sign?
lower portion
Yeah,
is, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it illuminated?
No, I think we have I don't know if it's the option, I think we would have the opportunity to run lines and put lights, and I don't know if that's a zoning issue as well. At this point, there isn't a plan for that, but it might be nice to do. I know some of our neighbors have done that. Some have, some haven't.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay,
You done with me?
that's it.
Okay.
It was difficult.
All right.
Since it's a public hearing, is there anybody who wants to speak in favor of this application
Besides me?
besides you? Anybody who wants to speak against the application? If that's the case, we close the public hearing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure. The second order of business is the application for site plan approval at Crest Jaguar of Woodbridge, 185 Amity Road. It's a revision in addition to what I think had been previously approved. Jay Alpert, how do you do?
Jay Alford is here.
Please sign in.
Architect at 1 Bradley Road, right here in Woodbridge. I have with me here tonight the owner of the property, Richard Fitzpatrick. And it's pretty straightforward. You have the plans. We've been here before, as you said. It has been approved before.
Yeah.
And then Jaguar, as owners want to be, decided they would change all the parameters and come up with a new prototype. So here we go. That's what keeps architects busy, I guess. In any event, we're back here with essentially the same thing. The building is turned 90 degrees, but it still has the same axes. Parallel to Amity Road and perpendicular to Amity Road. And you look at the design data, you'll see that it's well within the guidelines.
Can you just tell us what the major differences are between this one and the prior one?
Yes. Very simply, the prior one, the showroom was perpendicular to Amity Road. Now the basic showroom is parallel to Amity Road. It may be slightly bigger, but it's essentially the same showroom, the same number of cars in the showroom on display, same number of personnel in offices, et cetera, et cetera. But that is the difference. The heights are similar, the signage is similar, but different enough to warrant a separate application.
Dave, for those of us who weren't here last time, can you give a quick summary of what we're looking at?
Okay, what plan do you have in front of you?
I've got the first page that was stapled.
Site plan.
Yep.
Site plan, okay, the shaded spaces are those spaces around the building and closest to it that Jaguar deems important enough to put pavers underneath and demarc them as customer cars. But basically, we've allocated 173 of the total. There's over 400 cars on the site here for Jaguar. And Jaguar seems to think that the primary access is going to be from Amity Road. Hence you see that rather long paved walkway that leads up to what they call the primary entrance. The secondary entrance, which is between the former Dodge building and the extension, is probably the entrance that most people are going to use, and that's where, on that side, where people are going to park because of its proximity. That's where we have the handicapped cars. That's where I believe the customers will enter. But those customers who are meandering around the site, as they are wont to do, they can come in the front door, the primary entrance. The building is organized around an axis that runs parallel to Amity Road, even though the primary entrance, as they see it, is on Amity Road. And the secondary entrance is right on axis of all the important customer features they call the core, the merchandising, their pictures, and there's a sitting room, etc. If you go through the floor plans, you can see to get to, well, why don't we take the plans in order? So the service drive remains the same. It'll have a new sign over it. That's it. And then the building, everything to the right of that, you go to the next sheet. Do you have the demolition plan there? Page 2.1? Forgot. 21. Yeah, 2.1 is the demolition plan. You can see arrows on the bottom, number 1 and number 2, showing where the primary demolition and the secondary demolition is. Basically, the only part of the building that remains is the part from where those arrows meet and to the right, not including the forward portion, which has the green pyramid roof. So that's being removed. We're going to keep that low portion because it's all office space and customer service things. And then everything to the left of that gets demolished, slab included, roof, everything. And this new structure comes in from the wall that's common to the service drive, and then it proceeds into the parking lot toward the Dodge, what was the Dodge building. So if you go to the A2.2, I'm sorry, this is turned, but it gives you an overview of the general configuration. So you can see the service drive coming through toward the bottom of the plan. That exists, that remains. We're cutting some openings in that service wall, so there'll be some glass contact between the service advisors and the cars. And then basically the showroom develops, as I said, on that axis toward what was the Dodge building. If you go to, you have a 2.3, that would be, that's kind of a pictorial representation of, you can see where the cars would be, the three workstations that are in the open, that would be sales personnel facing the secondary entrance. The only thing that faces the primary entrance is a reception desk, and then there's a brand wall behind it. And behind that again is a customer seating area, and you can see that is open to the new access to the service area, service advisors behind that, some private offices, and then up in the right-hand corner, in that section labeled 24, that's the new car delivery. So that's like a little showroom and waiting area unto itself, where the finished product would be actually signed up and leave the premises. A2.4 is another floor plan, but it gives you a better sense of the different floor coverings. It's all tile on the floor, different kinds of tile. There's a key on the right-hand side describing there's a white tile, there's a wood-type tile, and then that area that's LVT, that's a luxury vinyl tile. That would be where the open desks sit. 4 offices, a couple of new bathrooms in the back, and that's basically your floor plan. I don't know that you have 2.5 as a reflected ceiling plan. Yeah, all right, so you go to elevations, which would be 3.1. The west elevation facing Amity Road. Now you can see this, it's all this alucobond metal panels and a huge glass opening with no mullions. So it's a very upscale and luxurious, well-befitting Jaguar enterprise. And the signage, there are 3 main signs here. They're identified 10, 11, and 12. Service obviously is over the service drive. The 11 is just, and I'm not sure we're going to call it Crest or Crest Jaguar.
Yeah, right.
That's what they give us for this signage identifying the dealer, and then the big sign, number 12, is the leaping Jaguar and the word Jaguar. And that's all within the guidelines. Say that again?
The west elevation is along Amity Road.
That's correct. That's correct. The south elevation would be the elevation that faces Dodge, and
Right.
the 11 would be another sign that identifies the dealer, the secondary entrance, which I predict will be the more utilized of the two. And that's it, very straightforward, simple, clean lines. Its colors are, they're already picked. Architect has no choice here, but it's Luca Bond, champagne, and charcoal. The lighter color is over the entry points. The darker color, and I say darker only because it is darker, but it's still a rather light charcoal. And those are the two colors, and a wide expanse of glass. So the idea is to look at cars, not at a building. So that's what you have.
The height is approximately the same height as the current building?
Yeah, you can see how it lines up across with what exists there. It's still, I think we've got a height listed on the front. Height, yeah, 2 stories. Why don't I have a height here? 24 feet, yes. So that's within a foot or so of what exists and well beneath the 45 that's permitted.
Couple of questions. How long is this project going to take?
You mean?
Between demolition and construction?
Yeah. Jaguar is under the impression that we're going to start construction this fall. We will be doing some work, probably interior refurbishing in the service areas, but real construction, groundbreaking demolition stuff would happen early next year, mid-spring, say, the latest, and go throughout the summer. I predict an opening a year from today, approximately, even though our deadline is the following spring. So that's kind of where it sits. I think this is a 5-month, 6-month if you get into bad weather or delivery problems, but it's pretty straightforward.
It's going to be open during the construction?
Well, that's the tricky part. Dealer is fortunate to have an empty building next door, and I think the current plan, I can let Dick speak to that if he wants to, or if you need more information, but I think the current plan is to utilize that during construction. It would facilitate matters a lot better.
Yeah, I'm Dick Fitzpatrick.
Go ahead.
With my compatriot Jay. And this plan, as Jay had said, we came to you about 3 years ago with a plan which was then Jaguar's plan for the United States. And shortly after that, they put a halt on it, and they went to a global architectural plan, so that by the year 2021 or 22, every dealer in the world will have this plan. And they're very, very, very prescriptive, to the point where the electrical outlets in the floor are prescribed, colors, everything. And we, as any dealer in the country is, and in the world actually, they will withhold funds from us if we don't meet this. We have to have a compliant facility. And Jay and I were working all day today on it, and they're presenting this on on Thursday, not the zoning portion, but, so anyway, all of this is part of their worldwide plan. And frankly, in a couple of years, we're probably going to be back to the Lincoln plan as well. They have gone to a global plan. So in answer to your question, when we're doing the construction, we're probably going to operate out of what was the Dodge showroom. Fortunately, we have that, and otherwise we'd have to have a trailer. It's interesting, we suggested we'll operate out of the Lincoln showroom. Oh, no, we don't mix with anybody. So, all right, so that would be our plan, out of the Dodge showroom. And hopefully, as Jay said, 5 or 6 months of exterior construction starting around April 1st next year.
Anything else?
Just note the staff view that regarding the signage, we're gonna have to review that just to make sure that it's compliant with either variances that have already been granted that would allow it, or if they would need to come back because we just haven't studied that portion of it. So we'll let you know, but you've got time on that in terms of if we need to process any other further permit. Yeah. So we'll check that out.
There's been a remarkable number of variances issued over the years,
Yeah.
and we'll try to accommodate
So
that.
it would be approved except for the
Signage, right.
You know, I might add one other thing which is kind of interesting. Most of the premium franchise dealers are now in North Haven. And so they were pushing me to move to North Haven with both franchises, Lincoln and Jag. And I resisted that because I love the location we have and accessibility, this lovely town. And so they've agreed to allow us to stay here. But that was sort of, they love to be where the other premium dealers are. So,
But not in the same showroom.
but not in the same showroom.
So we'll tend to that review in as expeditious a manner as we can, and then we'll get back to you guys.
Keep me in the loop.
We'll keep you in the loop and let you know if there's anything else that's required regarding that or not.
Great.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm new here. So this plan was previously approved, right?
Well, not this
In
plan,
what
but this concept of expanding and refurbishing the Jaguar.
Sure. So if you're driving along Amity Road, the original plan showed the building more as a perpendicular, so it sort of went backwards, right? And the revised plan, the major difference is it's more parallel, so you see it more as you drive.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
That's correct. Council?
No other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
And the next order of business is an application, Vision Design, 1660 Litchfield Turnpike, application for special permit for relocation of freestanding drive-through sign for Starbucks.
So the next items that you have, 2, 3, 4, and 5, none of the people are here this evening. They're
Oh.
here for your receipt, and they all need to be scheduled for a public hearing. So they're listed so you can formally receive them and then schedule them for hearing for presumably your October 2nd meeting.
Yes. That's acceptable. We schedule them for the,
And then, under the work session, we note, just to carry it forward, that James Urbano has his application for the regulation revision. Because he was out of state for this meeting, that hearing, he gave us permission to postpone it until October. So that will be the first one of the 5 that you will need to have.
Okay,
in
moving
October.
right along. Oh my God, this is great. Okay then, in which case, the first is Paul Scheck,
Right.
not James.
I didn't correct it on
That's
that one,
okay.
I'm sorry.
12 Lunar Drive, application for a street freestanding sign. Anybody want to comment about it?
It's one of our busiest buildings on that street. He imports recreational things such as foosball tables.
Oh, he's the one who does the football. Okay.
And he took over a long empty building. We have other businesses on that street with signs that are somewhat similar. And I would imagine that he needs a wayfinding sign. He has a lot of truck deliveries and a lot of comings and goings. So he's a welcome addition on that particular block, because we had an empty building there for the longest time.
It's a nice looking sign also.
Uh-huh.
It's a nice looking
Yes.
sign.
Okay, if that's the case, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Well, somebody has to make a motion.
Move that we approve 12 Lunar Drive's application.
What was his name? Paul? Did you say it was Paul Shank?
Paul,
Okay.
it's not.
Check.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Next. Crest Jaguar of Woodbridge, 185 Amity Road, the site approval, revised addition and renovation to Crest Jaguar. Can we ask for pre-samples?
You couldn't with brownies, you can't with Jags either.
I'd rather have a Jag than a brownie.
You're gonna go right.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
And that's absent the signage, I'm
Without the signage.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Is there any discussion on, anybody wants to talk on this motion?
Sounds like a very nice project. Good for the road, good for the town.
What I love is Jaguar as he said, tells him exactly what to do to the nth degree, and then the dealer pays 100% of the cost.
Yeah, I've represented Volkswagen and Jeep dealers, and they're at the mercy of
Yeah.
the company.
Okay.
But it's always been that way. I remember the
Yeah.
zoning board of appeals had to act on that leaping Jaguar that was out by the road. They had to have it, or they were going to lose the dealership. It's plain and simple.
I don't think we voted, did we?
No.
Not yet.
Okay, all in favor?
So,
Opposed? Unanimous. Next, correspondence received.
Wait a minute, I think Andrew may have gone to.
Report on Scrog.
Not only did I go to the last one, I went to the 2 before that.
Oh my God, okay.
I have to say that they are very efficient and short meetings. And pizza is provided every time.
3 times?
And, yep, every time I've been there. There have been no matters of concern to the town of Woodbridge, nor any matters that had inter-municipal impact. There is still in the works a review and preparation of a new regional plan of conservation and development, with respect to which there have been focus groups and the like. I think the final recommendation from the consultant is due around Thanksgiving time, and there will be a couple public hearings thereafter, and the new plan will be adopted.
That's my report.
What is the effect of the new plan?
Uh,
Meaning, because it doesn't have the, it's
just-
not a law, it
No,
doesn't have, then what is,
recommendations only. A lot of the discussion is the same as we have been discussing here for the last 2 years. In terms of mixed use and the like.
when we amend our, Chris, when we amend our plan, do they judge it against the regional plan? I mean, do they compare
They
it?
compare it against both the regional plan and the state plan.
Okay.
So we send it to them and then they make findings based on what we send them.
In years past, it's been important to be attentive to the details. For example, the state plan once specifically anticipated that the expansion of sewers up Center Road and a considerable distance.
Really?
And in Woodbridge, that's, you know, when you pass by large parcels of land with a sewer, it's an invitation for denser development than our regulations apply for. So I think, I don't know how much the regional plan, you know, is anticipating such things. The state plan got into very close detail. And based on comments from our first selectman, and changes were made to that. So there's still time to have input, I suspect, into the regional plan too.
Through the public hearing process, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a great process, it works.
Correspondence received. We received a letter from CBRE on the proposed antennas at 3 Meeting House Lane. I gather that's just for our edification.
Yeah.
Because there's not much we can do with that.
It's all within the church. It's within that steeple framework. It's not anything that you would normally even know that it was there.
Oh, so it's totally within the steep.
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as we know.
Okay, approval of minutes. Question is whether or not we have enough people to approve them. Well, once we have a quorum,
Once you have a quorum, as long as somebody moves and seconds that was there, then everybody else can vote for it,
fine.
assuming that you knew what was happening.
We have April 3rd.
You missing it?
Oh, here, no.
No, they're in here.
Do I hear a motion to approve the
Move to
April
approve the April 3rd minutes.
2nd?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
May 3rd.
May 2nd?
May 3rd. No,
I said May 3rd, but I think it was May 2nd.
it's actually May 2nd. I'm just reading from
And I
yours.
failed.
Okay, I'm reading from yours.
There's a typo on the top there.
Yes, it said, should be 4 as opposed to receded 4.
Right.
And this is also a different form than what we normally would see, but that's fine. Do I hear a motion to approve as corrected?
So moved.
Second? Don't all speak up at once?
Second.
Fine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Abstention.
May 4th, May 24th. Short and sweet. week. Yeah. Motion to approve,
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Aye. Lastly, June 5th. Question on this. Why is it repeated above and below? It's exactly the same. You see, it's, in
Yeah.
effect, it's a duplicate.
We can edit that.
Okay, please. It's the exact same language. Okay?
So is it James Scheck or Paul Scheck?
It's Paul.
That's the other thing, yes.
So that's when you formally receive them, so I'm gonna eliminate the first
Yeah.
2 paragraphs.
Okay. Motion to approve as corrected.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Finished.
Abstain.
Okay. In which case, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Whatever. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.